And I'm Suffolk Andy, and
I'm Suffolk Amy. Without any further ado, let's get into the Spooks. So the first investigation we're going to talk about in this video is St Mary's at Tibbetshall, which was, to put it plainly, a bit of a nightmare, I think.
certainly was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the start of our curse, really, with constant interruptions. You might remember that video as the cockerel video.
And screaming.
Aeroplane,
Dog walkers,
picnickers,
ramblers.
in the middle of nowhere.
Constant loud vehicles.
Yeah.
It was great, loved it. But we also found there a married couple. Spirits who are married couple, which is quite nice. That was the first time we ever had that.
Found a grave, didn't we? Found a grave, and had quite a conversation with them, really.
Yeah.
At the time, quite an interesting place that had not burnt down. The roof fell in because of an aeroplane went over in the 50s, or late 40s. One of these new jet planes went over and blew the roof off, which was thatched, and it caved in, and then the tower caved in, and it's just been left ever since. So yeah, that was an interesting one. I think that was the first time we used the spirit box.
Yes, it was.
Which I will say the jury on that one is still out, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, we did use the spirit box for that one. Yeah, quite a good day, really, when you take away the noise. Yeah.
Yep. So the next investigation we'll talk about is All Saints Little Wenham, and there was a lot going on in that one, wasn't there?
I can say that it was probably one of my favourite ones.
Yeah, same.
I found the interaction with the young girl, who I think was 19, was fascinating. And I've said to Amy, when we go back, because we're going to go back inside the church, see if we can get in touch with the lady who was calling out through the letterbox, through the keyhole.
Yeah.
We're going to go back, and we are going to put some flowers on Elisa's grave.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because
she deserves that.
That was emotional. That was really quite, I got hit quite hard by that.
Well, I think what we'll do, we'll put some flowers on her grave and flowers on the lady from the war.
Yes, that was Annie.
Annie,
around the back of the church.
Yeah. We used the spirit box there. I don't know if we put it in, did we? I can't remember.
There wasn't a lot that happened with the spirit box, other than the fact that it kept turning itself off without making the noise that it normally does when it turns off. It was just cutting off.
Yeah, it
which
was.
Random.
Which was strange.
Oh. Did it just turn off?
Yeah, but I thought that was one of my favourites, that one.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so the next investigation we did was at Shotley at St Mary's, and for that investigation we actually had cameraman Dan. We weren't just remotely controlling the camera with our spiritual powers. There was no sort of levitation of the camera. We had cameraman Dan on board, so that was fun.
This was quite a fascinating one because that was off the cuff. We just wanted to go somewhere quick, and Shotley is close to Ipswich, of course, so we went down. And it was funny that we sort of crossed from a German to a British person. Otto was killed in the start of the First World War, very early. I've tried to research on the action that he was in, but I haven't found anything yet. The other young lad, who was not...
He was not a David. We kept calling him David. We were close. He was Donald, and he's a Scotsman. So...
very young.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, because he was still responding as if he was David, which I think, you know, if someone's got your name almost right, you're probably going to be like, yeah, well, that'll do.
The funny thing about that, if you think about it, he had an older brother. His older brother was killed in the First World War. He was actually killed. And Donald, I don't know how many brothers he had, but he was another brother killed he died. Probably of the flu, I think, just after the First World War at Ganges. So if you can imagine that family lost a son in the trenches or at sea or whatever, then they lost another son at Ganges. It's quite a tragic story, really.
Yeah, because I think his brother is buried in France or somewhere.
Mm.
He's not buried in this country.
No.
So.
He's buried in one of the masses of graveyards over in France, so he must have died in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a sad story.
It's interesting to think about the flu because we both had some weird physical symptoms happening there.
Can you try your hardest to speak through this device? God, my throat.
That just winds you basically.
Name through the spirit box. Can you cross these rods if you cannot give us your name through the spirit box? Same with you?
Are you feeling that?
Yeah.
I know we both had quite a sort of choked up throat situation.
Yeah, kept wanting to cough your guts out basically, and I think that was to do with Donald. I think we were picking that symptom up, and I just wanted to cough, and Amy was the same, mate.
Yeah, because I was watching that happen to you, and then it hit me later on, just randomly. It felt like my throat just closed, and I had to.
Didn't Daniel have
get it
like
out.
sneezing fit as well? Didn't he?
Yeah, you kept
Sneezing.
You had to keep putting the camera down.
And that wasn't a cold night or anything. That was summer, so it was really nice evening.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very interesting, and to get the EVPs with the sort of different
Yeah.
accents
Yeah,
of
there
German
was
and Scottish.
Yeah, I can put the clip in here again, but there was two sort of different voices in that came over the spirit box, which is interesting because that scans different frequencies very fast. So it's interesting that it was two separate voices that were sentences, because it sounded like the first one was like kind of like a hello, and there's a response that just says they can't see us, but it's a very like kind of strange accent to me. It kind of sounded almost German, but I don't know whether I was thinking that because we're talking to Otto. But if you listen to them, they're different voices.
Yeah, definitely.
Which makes me think that perhaps our Donald was trying to tell us he was a David, and was sort of going hello.
It was not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Donald. Yeah.
Next investigation was All Saints Little Cornard, which we've had a couple of doubles in that location. We've had one in the daytime and one at night time.
And we went to the nighttime one with
many ghost investigators actually. I think
is it Haunted?
they've now
Yeah.
rebranded. We've got Haunted Anglia and
Yeah.
then Shadow Paranormal as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, the daytime one was a bit weird because we was speaking to a really grumpy old man. I think anyway, quite grumpy. But we could always tell that there was a presence there that was like a guardian present, especially down in the driveway.
yeah, that weird kind of overhang with the trees towards the gate. Yeah, it felt at every kind of entrance point there was some kind of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like you walk into a different feeling as soon as you cross over that threshold. It was weird.
Yeah, and we picked up on a lady down by the school. We couldn't get to the bottom of that one, so maybe that's something to look to again. But then we were asked to go over by Haunted Anglia, Jason, and give him a look. We had a completely different environment that night because it was night time. We do ours during the day. So it was completely different. I didn't feel particularly that freaked out on the nighttime one. In fact, I can tell you this now, this girl here walked off in the middle of nowhere with a camera, which she was given, and she went filming on her own in this old graveyard, and she done well. Yeah, you done well.
What can I say? I'm trying to get the evidence for you guys. I'm trying hard.
So hats off to Amy, she was fine. But we did have some strange things at night, didn't we? Definitely.
Some weird kind of, it felt like there was almost another presence entirely that made itself known at night time, something that was kind of more playful but not necessarily in a nice way, like mischievous.
Could have been an elemental.
Yeah, because we had that
Yeah. Rain the tree.
interaction with the crystal
Yeah.
where it indicated that it found it funny to sort of play around with us or to hurt us. It found it funny. So not quite sure what's going on there.
Will you stop the crystal as you do not want to hurt us? The energy is strong.
Yeah, it likes to show
Well,
off.
I'm going to close this down now because it seems to me you're not that friendly. With that location, I think there's unfinished business there. I think Jason thinks the same.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that we will be going over to that location again in the near future over the winter and doing another nighttime vigil there, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have horses during the daytime, so it's quite nice. I think we've got some footage somewhere of me meeting the horses. They're lovely. That's
Horses,
what
girls and horses.
horses are cool.
You haven't know that.
But,
They've got 4 legs.
They do, correct.
No tail.
Yep. But that's what was interesting, was that the horses were across the other side of the field, and yet we were hearing footsteps in the actual graveyard with us.
Yeah,
we were hearing
definitely.
footsteps, and that's why I went off on my own, because I was following them, because I was thinking, I can hear you, I know I can hear you, but I can't see you. And that was probably one of the creepier things, was that...
And your cat as you left.
Oh, the cat. Oh, yeah, I mean, Hannah was freaked out by that as well. There was a cat, and you know cat's eyes obviously glow in light. We shone our torches around the edge of the church, and there was just these eyes, these bright yellow eyes staring at us, and we realised it was a cat just before we sort of peed our pants. But we saw these eyes and thought, wow, what? And this cat looks behind it as if it's heard something, looks back at us, and then walks off in the direction that it looked, almost like it was called.
Pitch dark.
Almost like it was called backwards, and that was just as we were opening the gates to leave, so we're like, right, okay, see you later, we're done,
That's it.
we're gone, we're going home. So
Right, on to the next. And the next one is...
St George's at Shimpling, which was another location that we were told about by Jace. We did that on the same day, actually, didn't we? The same day as Little Cornard. We did 2 in one day.
Did we really?
Yeah, we went here first and then to Little Cornard.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we did
were
actually.
knackered. Like, we got home from that and we're just like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, why?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that was an interesting place because the first lady we were talking to, she was interned in the big crypt
Yes.
beside it. They were the gentry of the area. And she did admit that she played around with Jason, didn't she, with his hands?
Yeah, because I was holding the dowsing rods and I started feeling like I was being touched on my hand, almost like someone was pushing my hand to move the rods, not that they were actually touching the rods themselves, they were moving my hand rather. And then she admitted, this was Ellen, that she was standing next to me and that she knew what happened to Jason with the slime on his hand, and that he had also had the same feeling of the heartbeat in his hands while holding the dowsing rods. So she was very aware of everything, very intelligent spirit, and she also admitted to turning off our GoPro multiple
Yes,
times.
she did. Yes, kept turning off. Because we always put a GoPro, you know, in the corner of the graveyard, just looking at the hall scene, and it just kept turning off. There was no reason for it to turn off. It was fully batteried. Everything was fine with it, and we kept running over, turn it on, back, turn it on, come back, turn it on. And she admitted that she was mucking around with our GoPro. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
GoPro's just turned off again.
GoPro's just gone off again. That's weird. That should lock on and... Ooh.
Are you touching it or trying to maybe draw energy from it? Because it keeps turning off. Is that you who's doing that? Can you cross them? Really big cross if that is you. It's a little... Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Now the other spirit...
Yes, yeah, we went, and this was in part 2, a separate video. Let us know if you like that, by the way, if you like the 2 shorter ones as opposed to 1 long one. But in part 2 we spoke to Lucy, who at first was a bit kind of strange in her responses because she didn't want to be referred to as a lady, but rather a woman. So, and why is that?
because I'd done some research on her, and I found out that she run the local store and pub. So she was a landlady. She was a widower for quite some time, and she run the local pub and convenience store at the time, all those years ago. So she didn't class herself as a lady as like the other lady, who was a lady. She was a woman.
Yeah.
And and she admitted that she used to go into the corset room or whatever it was to have meetings with other ladies or other women. So that was fascinating. That we have now going to start, when we get in touch with these spirits, we're going to try and research some of them as best we can and find out more about them. So that's our next project, really.
It's kind of a difficult one to do that, isn't it? Because a lot of sites you have to use paid for a lot of these to try and get these records and different information. So it's a bit hard sometimes to find
but we're trying.
some things on people.
We're trying.
Yeah, especially when they've only got a couple of initials and a date, and you're like, where am I going to go from here?
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucy was sassy. She was so sassy. Like she was an older lady, wasn't she, in her 60s?
60s, yeah.
So I got a feeling from her of almost like a diva, like proper, because the interesting interaction, I can put that in here, was when I turned to where she was standing, because she told us where she was standing. I said, is that better now? And the rods just went, it was like a, look at me when I'm talking to you. Now you know where I'm standing, look at me.
I think,
had that feeling.
I think when she was alive, I think I had the feeling that she was quite a strong woman.
Yeah.
No nonsense woman. Wouldn't take any crap. She had to be to run a pub, I suppose, or an inn. And she was quite a fascinating character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed speaking to her.
Yeah.
She was also aware of Ellen as well. They know about each other, and Lucy also knows that the investigators were coming to the area as well. So it's interesting that both of them know of each other and know about the investigators. So
it's got to be the young lady, the 19-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. I really did. I found that quite emotional, actually. That one.
Yeah.
But tell you the truth, I can't really say there's a definite one, because they all were quite brilliant in their own way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of them things where they didn't spook you, it was good communication, and so I can't really say which is my favourite, but I did like the young lady who was 19, I must admit.
Yeah, Lisa was really fun to talk to. For me, my biggest spook was the moment of asking Ellen where she was standing, knowing that I had that warm feeling on my left hand side, and then the rods moving right to where I thought she was standing when we asked, and I was like, it's like that moment, you know, in a horror movie where you know that something's going to be like, it's like those shots where they go to close the mirror in the bathroom, you just know there's going to be something standing behind them, but then you don't see it and there's nothing there, and you're like, but I know there is something there. So I knew she was standing there, but it was just such a,
If you notice, we start asking some of these spirits if they could see us and hear us, and they've all said they can see us and hear us. We're at a disadvantage because we can't see them, we can't hear them, so they've got an advantage over us. I find that fascinating as well, that they've got the drop on us, as they say, when it comes to these sort of investigations. I found that quite interesting. I haven't, no, but I know Amy's going to come up with one.
Yep. I mean, for me, I couldn't pick one specific moment because I just had to pick the goof itself that was the Tibbetshall investigation. Just the entire thing was just everyone turning up out of the blue. It was almost like someone had put out some kind of a community announcement that this was happening and that it was a meet-up. Like, everybody was turning up.
Yeah.
We're just like, really? Like,
and then
who else?
Then to top it all, the guy turned up with his strimmer. Start strimming the graveyard, and we're
that
like,
was the worst. And then we wanted to just film a little outro, just walking off, and then somebody turned up with their car, and they started having a Barney in the lay-by, fully shouting at each other. We're just like, what is going on? The cockerel, Napoleon, coming out of the coming out. He did not come out of the woods until we were leaving.
Yeah.
And it was almost like he was glaring at us, being like, "Ha, I ruined your investigation." It was like, thanks for that.
Oh yeah.
You're
Definitely.
great, you are. I'm gonna wring its neck. I thought you were going to it
I
once.
said if I get hold of the bloody thing, I'll bring its neck.
Oh dear.
Right, we've got to the point where we're going to rank these 5 investigations.
Yeah.
I'm out of this one. I'm going to leave this completely up to Amy now. Okay,
Why?
Amy? Yes, why? This
Why?
is yours. So rank these 5 investigations.
Okay, well this one's a bit difficult because they were all a lot, like there was just a lot going on. If I had to rank them, I would probably put Tibbetshaw in the bottom spot, sort of least active, because we had the couple, but they weren't super intense, like there wasn't a whole lot of major activity going on, it was just...
And because of all the interference with that as well, we couldn't really concentrate that much.
No, it was difficult.
It was difficult. Every time we tried to do something, somebody would turn up. Yeah.
Everyone, their mother and their cat.
Yeah.
Right, then I'll probably put Shotley next because
You can go
again
with that.
we did have interaction, but it wasn't super strong, and we did have to keep asking for things. Like it wasn't straight away. It was we had to be persistent with it. Then probably Little Wenham because again we had 2 distinct interactions, but none of them were super intense. I don't think. It was just kind of a lovely interaction. I think we'd get more if we went inside the church because our spirit really wanted us to come inside, but we were like, sorry, the government's got other ideas about that, but take it up with them if you have to. So then, yeah, then I'd probably put Shimpling in second spot because I think it's difficult to do this. I think only because with Little Cornard we did a nighttime investigation. It kind of has that edge of being more active because it is a different place at night. We saw 2 sides of it. So yeah, I'd go with Tibbetshaw, Shotley, Little Wenham, Shimpling, Little Cornard.
Yeah, I'm going to go along with that as well because I think that's right actually. Right, this is the 5, but of course we've done more since this 5.
Yes.
How many more have we done since that? 3 or 4?
Maybe another 3, yeah.
Yeah, another 3 I think. And we've also been to a place called X, which we haven't done a film on, but we went to X, which we will be doing an investigation there. Probably a daytime and a nighttime one. Yeah. The news from the channel is we've just purchased a nighttime camera and some lights and stuff. So we're going to do a little bit more nighttime stuff over the winter, but we are going to concentrate mostly on the daytime. But we will do some nighttime investigations, and I think we're going to peg up with Jay's. Yeah, again, because he's a lovely fella. And we want to do an interview with him as well. We want to interview him.
We've got lots of nice stuff coming.
Yeah, we've got loads. So we want to do an interview with him, so you lot can meet him. So it's about it really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, other than guess just to quickly say that we've had some interest in people coming with us on investigations. We do want to do that. We'd love to meet up with you all and see what happens. Not all at once, obviously. That would be just unless you want to meet at Tibbetshaw, because apparently that's okay. But yeah, I think we're probably gonna have to wait until it's a bit of a better time.
I think I'd like to see the channel go in a direction where it's not just our channel, it's your channel.
Yeah.
I have been told that we interact very well when we're on it, investigations with our subscribers and friends. And I would like to make this more your channel as well, and bring you all in and make it one big sort of tent and go forward with that really. Right, just going off that a little bit, if you've got any subjects that you want me and Amy to talk about, if you put them in the comment sections of our vids, we'll do another one like the Paranormal Sitdown.
Yeah.
So if you've got anything, it doesn't matter what it is about paranormal stuff, if you send it through, then when we get enough, we will do another little video and try and explain what we think anyway.
I want to do something for Halloween. I'm not sure what, but I want to do some kind of special thing for Halloween. I don't know if we could figure maybe working out some kind of a live stream if we've got the means to do so. We could do that. Something where we can interact with you guys and make it kind of a fun thing where you can get involved.
The trouble is at the moment, and I'm not going to bore everybody with it, but my work's quite heavy, and I do long hours. Now, hopefully, by the end of this month or next month, it will tail off a lot, so I won't be working so much, and we'll be able to do more. Because at the moment, we're always rushing to try and do something around what I'm doing, and hopefully that will tail off over the winter, and we'll have more time. Yeah.
If you guys like what we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel and smack the notification bell. You gotta smack it proper hard because sometimes it don't work. Just bosh that bell. Like the videos as well. If you like the videos, it helps us to know that you like what we're doing. If you comment and interact with us, then we know that we can carry on doing a certain thing. If you want us to do something a certain way, let us know and we'll give it a go. So
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. I don't know.
So, see you all on the next investigation.
Yeah. What have you got to do? What have you got to do? You know it by now. What have you got to do?
Stay spooky.
I know they said it.
Goodbye.
Bye.